and waste my life away, drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. 'Cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end. 'Cause the rich men, north the rich men. I wish politicians would look out for minors, and not just minors on an island somewhere. Lord, we got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat, and the obese milking welfare. Well, God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds. Young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground, 'cause all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down. Lord, it's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. 'Cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end. 'Cause the rich men, north the rich men. I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay.
Amen, brother.
And the thing is, it's freaking true, man.
Truer words, man.
Last week, I went grocery shopping. And I remember when I could spend like $100, 150 bucks, and have food last for almost a month. And now $100 barely lasts a week.
Yeah, we spend about $350 for 2 weeks for 4 people.
And that's ridiculous.
Yeah. I saw that video yesterday of the guy who had gone to Costco like a year ago and took a price check on a whole bunch of crap and went back just recently, and everything was like double.
At least.
The inflation rate is bullshit.
The only good thing is eggs down here have dropped to $1.80 for 18 pack.
Yeah, we get 2 18 packs for just under $4 now.
Yeah,
and that was all because Tractor Supply and other feed companies were putting out chicken feed that was causing the chickens to just not give up eggs.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, everybody? Link is in the chat.
And bro, that's exactly it. And
I won't be left alone.
Where the hell are you? Why aren't you in the show, man? Crafty Gamer, good morning.
There.
I didn't want to be called a slacker again, so I thought I'd.
Well, you are a freaking slacker.
Shut up, Santa.
You are a slacker.
Ho, 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 your way down to the VFA.
I'm not a veteran.
No, that's where you sell your ass. Come on, ho, ho, ho.
Oh, damn.
Hey, I'm Santa, and I got hose.
Oh, pimping ain't easy.
I'm actually getting kind of Omegle famous.
You're getting a little what?
Omegle famous. Because I do my whole Santa Claus outfit and I play gangster rap. And I just sit there and do this. And people are like, I heard of you. You're awesome. And shit like that. I'm thinking about starting to record it and put it on YouTube.
That would be
You should.
hilarious.
Because I play shit like Straight Out of Compton and Fuck the Police and stuff like that, like old 80s.
As long as you don't monetize it, you're fine.
I'm not monetized.
Oh, well, there you go.
I don't even get super chats, man.
Aww. You will one day.
I ain't worried about it. I don't do this for money. I do this to aggravate people.
Mission accomplished.
So you missed a good show Monday, man.
Yeah? Sorry, I have a job. I apologize.
Oh, what's that like?
Trust me, retirement will agree with you 100%.
Oh, I will not. I've seen my pension prediction from the Canadian government. It will not agree with me 0%.
Wow. I've been retired over 20 years now, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Based on the predictions of how much pension I'll get from the federal and provincial government when I hit 65, I'll be moving to the Philippines or working 25 hours a week to offset the shit amount of money I'm getting.
Yeah,
Wow. I don't get a dime in retirement or pension or any of that crap, and I again wouldn't have it any other way.
Well, if I can figure out a way to make $1 million in the next 12 years, I'll let you know how retirement works out for me.
I make almost a month what I used to make a week. Almost.
Yeah.
Monthly, what I made weekly.
Yeah, I'll be making slightly less than what I make every 2 weeks now.
That's why I'm seriously thinking about moving to the Philippines.
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah. I looked into that just because you brought it up, Hungar, and I'd be hella careful, and I definitely wouldn't be signing any paperwork.
I don't sign shit.
You got to be super careful if you go overseas like that, for sure, especially the Philippines, because there's lots of scams waiting for you, you know?
Yeah, the whole idea of paying for every single expense of your lady friend's wants and needs and all of their family, that's not going to happen.
You know what? My mama didn't raise no simp.
I hear you. It's just the way it's done over there. And
I'm known to ditch a bitch.
I've never
I
heard
get zero shits. I'm already good at knife fighting. Shit, last night I had a dream about, we were all, is like everybody who's on YouTube with me and shit.
Yeah.
It was a show. We are all transported to a fucking weird ass world by a gorilla who owned a car dealership. And it was all fantasy, and we all had to find armor and shit and fight our way back to the area where the car dealership was in a fantasy world to try to get transported back to the real world. But the gorilla was like grog. So it was a crazy ass dream. And Shadow had red armor and a sword that like was turning him very evil. So we had to deal with him because he ran off looking for a chick. I mean, it was just fucked up. And Justin was just
that's not uncharacteristic. Just saying.
Hey, Squirrel.
What's happening?
The link's in the chat for anybody who wants to hop in.
Yeah, let's get this show on the road.
Yeah,
why was Monday so good? What did I miss on Monday that was so awesome?
We talked a lot about gaming and shit.
What? You guys actually talked about gaming for a change?
The whole show was about gaming.
I'm so sorry I missed that, because usually you guys just get off on culture war.
Good morning,
No,
Raven.
it was about gaming and different rules and different classes and shit like that. It was an actual serious
D&D. You were talking about D&D.
Yes. We were talking about different editions of D&D.
Yeah, okay. We were talking about different types of chocolate cake. You're still talking about chocolate cake.
Yeah, well, we were talking about proficiencies and magic items and stuff like that.
Hey, real quick, Bo, as long as that isn't with your lady friend, okay. Because if it is, you have made some serious errors along the way.
Grappling and knife fighting with your woman. Hey, that just makes for a fun Friday night.
Yeah, at the hospital.
Hey, I've had fun at the hospital.
I cannot say that I have. I've had way too many experiences there.
You haven't been in there enough.
No, I've been in there so much that I could tell you stories. My folks were in and out of the hospital all the time when we were young, and we had no other family. So there would be Christmases and holidays that I'd be sleeping in the waiting room with my little brother.
Hopefully this year I will not be in a hospital during Christmas.
Amen, brother. No hospitals, not for a long ass time. Let me in, weirdo, says Justin. Justin,
And I sent the Slack ass the link.
yeah. That's so much the freaking pot and kettle situation there.
He's
And
just
Raven
being
says you have an
late.
awesome voice for radio.
Well,
What's
thank
up,
you.
Hey,
nerd?
nerd. Yeah, he has an awesome face for radio too.
I have a
Raven.
face for radio and a voice for print. It's quite
Yeah,
good.
that's
That's
Bo's
what Bo
catchline.
always says.
Yeah.
Have you seen me or heard my voice? You're
We've
far
only
better
heard-
than I am.
We've only heard your voice, Justin.
That's
No,
a picture of me, bro.
Yeah.
I've seen neat pictures.
We keep hearing that, but that
I posted that one. I shared that one video of Justin.
yeah.
Yeah.
What have I gotten myself into today, gentlemen?
Ain't no telling, Barry.
Usual.
Seriously, ain't no telling. That's 100% accurate, by the way.
So
It ain't chaotic neutral for
You have, I'm just saying, in my opinion, you have a much better voice than I do.
Who
Dude,
does Shadow?
or
You, Bear.
yeah.
Dude. Yeah, it's skull shape and training. Don't worry about it. It's not something like it's not not magic.
Yeah,
and your beard's
you
starting to
stood
look a little bit like Santa Claus too, there, buddy.
Listen, fuckstick. If I want to be Santa Claus, I have to take you out first. Kind of like how a druid used to have to take out the higher level druid to become the master druid. Well, that's what's going to have to happen here. Since I don't want to be Santa Claus, you're safe.
Besides the
always
hours
safe.
of shit.
Because I'm always armed.
Whoa, what are you talking the hours of shit? You work like 2 days a year.
Oh yeah, right. Someone's got to keep those elves in line. Trust me. Those little
Yeah.
farts.
That only comes once a year because Mrs. Claus is a tease.
Oh my god. Jesus.
For some guys, that's actually a lot. So, just saying, especially these days with the way things are going.
Well, we know if there's three people, it's a threesome, and that's why Shadow's so handsome.
Yeah, I got that on a shirt.
Bo
So
has
we're
no
not going to be
stuff
talking
do
about
with
role
this.
playing today is the final part of
We
this.
are going to be talking
Right.
about role playing today.
Hey, I did not divert the conversation at all.
I'm going to go get some coffee, and I'll be right back.
Fair
No,
enough.
no worries, Bo.
So what were you guys?
We'll try to muddle through this without you, man.
Oh, what were you guys on before I shut up?
We were talking about how good a show we had Monday without your dumbass. No, wish you were there, but it was a really good show. We actually talked gaming, the pros and cons of, for the most part, low, medium, and high magic scenarios.
And her five sisters, Bo. Rosie Palms and her five sisters. That's how that one goes. At least I'm old enough to remember that one.
Pamela Henderson, Rosie
Yeah.
Palmer.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. I got like 20 minutes, then I gotta go back to work. So let's talk about some gaming stuff.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
since you weren't here, what do you prefer? Low, medium, high magic?
Well,
And why?
define. Please define. And just use real world like movie examples or TV show examples.
Okay, like low magic would be, I guess Conan would be the easiest one.
Yeah, Conan, Game of Thrones. It's really
Conan.
subtle. It's not very vulgar.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Medium for me is, I really don't know that there's. Probably the Lord of the Rings would be medium for me.
Okay.
Maybe a little. I would be a little bit more generous with magic than Lord of the Rings, but that's probably medium. High magic would probably be something like.
Forgotten Realms.
I'm not familiar with that, but okay. Anything
Eberron. Any of those D&D settings that are over the top magic.
anything where there's like a magic shop in every
Yeah. Okay.
decent sized town.
Low to
There's
medium.
never a magic weapon shop in any town.
I'm okay with any of them. I generally prefer lower magic settings, but I'm okay with high magic settings as long as it doesn't become the purpose of what the players are doing. Right? Like if there is high magic, but it's not the reason why people are sitting at the table to go get the high magic item. Like if your whole existence becomes I'm here for more loot, please.
It's not about the loot, it's about the war crimes you commit along the way.
Yes.
Well,
Which you
Magic
got
is
the funny thing
beside
is-
you all along, right beside the hate.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this.
Hate is a justifiable emotion.
I was thinking about this quite a bit. For me, I've game mastered more 99
Well, it
times
doesn't come from nowhere.
that I played.
Fair.
But when I played, what was always
So
missing was
horrible.
even the semblance of cool magic items, as earned by me personally as a player. It was just like there's absolutely none of that. Sorry, you're not going to be getting anything cool. The best thing you're going to get is a plus item out of a random roll on the chart. And for me, I would like to be able to have the memories and the experiences of pulling out a good old fashioned wand of fire and being able to do the fireball, the burning hands, or the magic wall of fire, I should say, as opposed to blasting off all my spells and sitting around a game going, okay, well, I'm out of magic. I got like 30 hit points and we're fighting 75 hit point monsters. I'm going to
Spell
just
management is key.
Yeah, if the base description of what you're talking about is the way you described it, just numbers, what it's not a role playing game, then it's fucking math.
Well, no, I'm just boiling it down, okay?
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, but I've been in thousands of adventures. What are you going to offer that I haven't done before? Okay, the zero to hero, I've done it
dancing.
100 times. Pardon?
Fan dancing. That's what we're going to offer that you haven't done before.
Yeah, you're going
And dance your way into the temple.
Oh,
of the
oh,
Dark
wait a minute.
Lord.
There was this top secret game.
Ah.
But
Yeah, he does the
even if it's just that one cool thing that kind of fits your character, like the fighter and his sword, the wizard and his staff, that kind of thing, just walking into the situation, something like that, as opposed to scraping for every little second of progress, 10 times more effort than
make your character
end result.
unique. Make your character unique. Just because he's a ranger
That's
doesn't mean
never
he
been
has
a
to
problem.
be.
It's always been
Just because you're playing a ranger, just because you're playing a fighter, doesn't mean he's got to be a cookie cutter character. Just
I've
because
never
you're
played a
playing
character
role.
like that in my life. I can
But
always
a lot of people do, and that's where you get that issue. It's like, what's the difference between this game and any other hundreds of games that I've ever played? Well, that's not on the DM always. You have to help make the game fun for yourself and everybody else.
yeah.
my
As a
experience has
player,
always been
As a player, you have responsibilities just as much as the GM.
sure, but I keep hearing this, and I've always felt or seen this, that the GM is trying to keep the players down because they cannot come up with an adequate challenge because the players get too powerful.
You
And
don't
that-
keep the players down, but you want to keep your players. Okay, yes, the players are not like a normal person in the game, but just because you're, an adventure doesn't mean you have to be the fucking Superman of the world. Okay,
Yeah.
you don't have to be overly powerful. Things should be challenging for a player, and players don't need a +5 sword at level 3.
No, they don't even need technically they don't even need a plus item, but
Fair.
go for it, Bear.
First, props to you for having the age-old Shack machine. I haven't had one since college, so I really respect that.
Yeah.
Two, this is the problem with D&D. D&D requires you to have magic as you get up in levels to fight certain types of monsters. You need to only be affected by magic items. You're not going to survive without the magic. You're going to have all these problems. And therefore, it is inherently a flaw within the system, or a feature, if that's what you like, that your players are going to have to accumulate magic as they go. I don't play past extreme level 10. That's as high as I'm ever going to run a campaign.
Yeah, same.
So that +1 sword becomes an epic item. It becomes this thing that has a history attached to it. It's something valuable to the player.
We were talking about the same thing Monday, and Squirrel brought something up in the chat that I really, really like. Letting your weapon progress with your level and your.
Well, that's a neat idea.
Yeah. See, Hackmaster, the newest edition, that's how they handle magic weapons. Let's say a fighter has a shield, and there's item damage and items can be broken. But let's say by luck, 4, 5, 6 levels, he's using his shield and it doesn't break. Well, guess what? Say your fighter's name is Billy Bob. Well, that's Billy Bob's shield of defending +1.
And I like that idea. You have a sword and you kill a lot of goblinoid creatures. The sword gets better at killing goblinoids.
Yes, it's more through story and gameplay than just. And if there are magic items, you find them. You don't buy them. If you do, it's a king's ransom.
And I like that idea about finding magic items. I don't like the idea about going down to the local magic shop and picking up a bunch of +1 arrows. I don't like that.
No.
I said it Monday.
Now, mind you, in my games, I have qualities that aren't magical that'll give a plus.
Right, same here.
That's
Well
due to
crafted.
craftsmanship.
Mastercraft.
And those you don't really buy too often either, unless
like I said last
Whoa. Conan, the movie,
expensive.
John Milius shows us the value of a mastercraft weapon in the opening
absolutely.
sequence when Thulsa Dome comes to claim this sword, right?
Yeah.
Right? And it's a mastercraft sword.
Yes.
And of course, it's a piece of shit and it breaks, and Conan learns the valuable lesson of the riddle of steel that it's the hand, not the sword. Okay. Mastercraft is something so cool and so epic, it's better than a magic item. Because it's the Hanzo katana.
Or the foundation of a magic item?
Or the foundation of a magic item.
Yeah.
You have that mastercraft weapon, and then fighting that one demon, that one devil, that one dragon, whatever it was, you got that natural 20, and boom.
Well,
The spirit of you as a hero infused into that sword, and it became a +1 magic sword all of a sudden.
It's not even that.
You're playing story. Yep.
You're a piss poor sorcerer if you're going to take a common weapon and enchant it or whatever.
It has to be
The second your
Mastercraft.
magic item breaks because it was made by a crap.
Well, you could easily make
Swordsmith.
that a part of the enchanting weapons rules as a house rule, where if it's a mastercraft weapon, it's easier or cheaper to enchant the weapon as opposed to.
In my game, if you want to enchant a weapon, it has to be a Mastercraft weapon.
Yeah.
Well, it has to be a Mastercraft enchant. And like I said,
I personally, I'd go the opposite way. If you enchant something that is made from a poor material, it just breaks easier.
Yeah,
That's just logical sense there, Justin.
Like Squirrel was just saying, and like I said last week, you have a +1 weapon that you don't want to use. You're not going to take it to You're not going to take it to an average village and sell it, because the average village is not going to have enough gold accumulated for the entire freaking village to buy it.
Well, that's if you care, but that's one of those things I hate about the economies of most games, period, is the number put to an item is fixed and unchanging.
It's not that it's fixed and unchanging.
Wow.
If you've got something that's magical that you have to bust your ass to actually find, and there's a chance of you dying, and you know that it's worth a lot, are you going to sell it for 50 gold pieces?
Yeah, and
I might.
How
I
badly do you need
honestly
50 gold pieces?
Yeah.
As we all know, those rules are guidelines. So,
Well, it depends. Is it my character walking through the village, or is it me? Because I might sell it just to be a fucking troll.
Your
My character wouldn't,
walking.
though.
Yeah, it's your character, because if you're playing a game that I'm at, when I sit down at a table to play a game, everything that I do and say is in character for the entirety of the gameplay, unless I'm like, excuse me, I have a question for the DM.
Sure.
And if I'm talking and stuff to the other players, I'm in character. So
Also,
everything I'm
Justin,
doing
if
is in
it's you walking through the village with a sword to sell, Justin, you really need to get your doctored up your lithium, because something's gone wrong if you are doing that.
Or tell us.
But you know what I mean, right?
I know.
Like,
or it's in that
the
dream
whole
that I had
magic
last
shop
night.
mentality that invaded D&D in 3rd edition in a big way. 4th edition really impacted, and even exists in 5th edition, is a result of an entire generation that grew up playing Legend of Zelda. And they just want to go buy the item, right? So that's the problem.
I've got a solution for all of that. If you keep your players busy with expenses and training and upkeep and things like that, and retainers, or henchmen, one, they're not going to have enough money, and two, if you provide them one way or another with the adequate tools for the job, they're not going to be like, I need to buy this, I need to buy that. It's like they don't have enough money to do it. Nice kitty. And they're already busy, doing other things that make sense, like training.
So you like
regular equipment, buying regular mundane equipment, and then getting onto the actual adventure as opposed to let's go to the mall and
but it says in the player's handbook that the 50 foot of rope only costs this much. Yeah, and that's in the city on the coast where regular arrivals of rope and hemp are existing. You're in the fucking mountains 500 miles away from nowhere in a little shop. Guess what? That rope now costs 5 gold.
Well, look at Warhammer Fantasy.
Look at Fantasy in the 50s.
Things have different rarities. So just because you want to buy something doesn't mean that's going to be available in that area.
Yep.
Or it might be.
I have to bounce. I got to go back to work. I got to go make money, or I get kicked out of my home. So
good seeing you, brother.
Party on, man.
$1 bill, y'all. Or
Love Geek, and we're on tonight with a 4-Color Cafe. If you guys want to come by and check it out.
Loony coin, y'all. Loony coin instead of $1 bill.
Loony coin.
Never heard that one before.
I just made it up.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Our primary coin is called the Loony because it has a loon on it.
Hey, what's up,
Mr.
Max?
Stupid.
Hey, Mr. Max.
Yeah, I keep my players way too busy for them to actually have time to go shopping like that. For the most part, their rope is going to last. Their starting equipment, a lot of it's gonna stay the same, and be there. But there are going to be occasions, where I'm going to say, hey, you need to, resupply and do this and do that.
When I start a game, I will have a standard adventurer's kit already made up that the characters can get for an extreme. It's not extremely expensive, and it's going to be stuff like it's going to be rope, torches, bedroll.
Castles Crusade has a really good system of that. They have a huge, various different, adventurers packs for all the different classes, and it really does save a lot of time making a character. So you just go boom, you're done.
Okay, you spend the gold, you get a standard adventurers kit.
One of the thing I really hate in the systems I've seen is they'll make you go out and buy the stuff that would be in what's called a standard adventurers kit, even though there's stuff for the most part you would have around the house. Like if you're living in a medieval setting, you probably have rope. You probably have a shovel. There's 2 or 3 things you might need to buy, like a sword. But I'm sorry,
your weapon doesn't come with your standard adventurers kit. Your standard adventurers kit's
but I'm talking about everything you're starting out as a level 0 person in a medieval world. I'm sorry, but if you live in a medieval world, you have a flint and flint and steel.
If you want to have a fire, you do.
Like, I always start my players
everywhere. Everyone owns that.
I always start my players in a completely different place where they grew up. I don't like that. You grew up in this village.
It doesn't matter, Shadow.
But you've been traveling.
Everyone owns that.
Right, but that's just taken out of your starting your whatever gold you get to start with, because it's your choice of what you're actually carrying. Because there are people I've run who they don't buy the iron spike and the hammer because they know somebody else has got it, kind of thing. So they gotta, they don't always get the optimum amount of starting gold, so they got to make some hard choices. And it's like, okay, well, I need the thieves' tools, so I'm gonna just buy the crappier rations or just have some gold in my pocket for food.
Now, I'm going to let everybody start off with their standard weapon. And if you're playing a thief, you're going to start off with your thieves' tools and shit like that. If you're playing a cleric, you're going to have your holy symbol. You're going to have your mace. Because I just say, hey, the church gives you the holy symbol and the mace.
Here's a
If
question.
you're
for
a
you guys.
fighter, you're going to have your sword, the sword or the weapon that you use, because your trainer is going to give it to you, bequeath it to you. You know what I mean? So you're going to have your basic weapon. You're going to have to buy your armor, and you're going to have to buy your adventurer's gear because
I
they're not just gonna
usually,
give you
I
that.
usually like in the OSE style, BX style games that I run, the players seem to be having fun with. I usually say within reason, equip your characters. Let me look over them. All right, you start off frickin' broke. That's why you're adventuring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're broke.
You start off with maybe 10 silver pieces where
No.
you can buy a
You better-
drink
you
and
better
food at a bar.
You better put some rations on your character. You're frickin' broke. That's why
Hey,
you're
let's
going into the cave.
welcome our new guests.
What up, BRC? What's up, James Gang?
James,
I only carry
BRC.
what is issued to me by the God Emperor.
So, nothing.
The God Emperor actually equips their Imperial Guardsmen with the finest quality las weapons and armor.
BRC,
Nice.
what's up, buddy?
To say otherwise would be treason.
BRC played the best ranger character in any game that we've ever had.
He actually very nearly crushed my Bretonians yesterday. It came down to the wire.
Wow.
in that,
cool.
in
I-
that
I-
fun
case,
game.
sir, congratulations.
I'm pretty good at playing a ranger, but here's a question for y'all. What's in a thieves set of tools? Do you guys know? Do you just wing it? Or do you let your player, tell you, or ask?
Lock picks, needle trap, just standard thief shit, man.
Yeah.
Uh,
Maybe a couple of strips of wire.
It will be a crowbar, small hammer, a
Yeah.
Yeah, crowbar, hammer, spikes.
Yeah. No, honestly, thinking about it, if you were doing like a level
A
0
Halligan
thief,
tool.
those would be tools he would have before lockpicking kits.
yeah, I include quite a few
you
other
can break
items.
into a lot of things with a crowbar before you need
Sure,
lockpicking
and that should
tools.
always be your backup, or a hammer, or a
We had
chisel.
a halfling thief in a game once, and his main weapon was a crowbar. He's a halfling thief. He used the crowbar as a weapon, and he used the crowbar to break into shit. He carried a crowbar.
That works.
Yeah, I haven't done some extensive lock picking and intrusion. There are a lot of simple things you might not think about.
Depending on the lock, you may need the eyeball of the person who the lock is keyed to retinally.
Right off the
That's
bat,
not
Or
reality, bro.
A
That's
hand with the
movies.
palm scan.
Okay, we're talking about D&D here. We're not talking about retinal eyeballs.
Yeah.
But there are
yeah,
some other things. The chisel right off the bat is a tool that's often overlooked.
Chisel and hammer.
Right. I mean, obviously, if you know anything about it, you could use an iron spike, in a pinch, but you're not going to have the same
We're
percentage.
talking about
I'm a fan of caltrops.
That's not really a thieves tool, but
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Thieves like throw some caltrops around before they break into a house. So it
That's just anybody's tool that needs to get away.
Yeah. Trust me, bro. No.
you throw
Yeah.
some caltrops as an alarm system because somebody's going to scream if they step on a caltrop.
or Legos.
Fuck a
Or
Lego.
D4s.
Fuck Legos. You have to step on a D4.
Yeah, D4s.
Never
The sharp
believe
edge.
anyone who says
sharp
trust
edge
me,
metal.
bro.
Trust me, bro.
Never believe
Yeah,
anyone who says that.
I really like to get into the sort of nitty gritty when it comes to intrusion techniques and exactly how it's done. Because
In real life, it's a pair of khakis or jeans and a colored polo. Buy a clipboard. Buy a
I know
clipboard.
that can work. I know that can work.
Clipboard,
But
name
unfortunately, khakis are banned in all of my games, as are polo shirts.
Yeah, because that's really all you need. You need a clipboard, a decent looks like it's a employee out uniform.
Yeah, which is usually a
Tag.
colored
You can
polo.
get into pretty much any house.
Lanyard with a name tag.
Yeah,
Don't
Yep.
forget the jumpsuit, toolbox, and ladder.
No. In real life, you don't. It's a pair of pants, like khakis or.
Are we
jeans.
talking about Big Trouble in Little China?
No, I'm talking about. I'm talking about my old field
Because
of
remember
work.
when they showed up to the one place, they're like,
This is what I did for a living, bro.
That was the cover. The phone's out. We're here to check on your phone.
Yeah, dude shows up with
yeah.
the phone. He's got an old freaking touchstone phone. He's
Hi,
like,
I'm with Rogers Telecommunications. I hear your network is down.
Well, prior to that being a huge thing for us, it was the toolbox, the ladder, and the jumpsuit.
Yeah.
And the toolbox had things you actually needed for the job.
Yeah. You might have a toolbox, a satchel.
Mind
A satchel
you,
these days
that's
will
the
have
toolbox
that
is where you kept your 911. But just saying,
no, you don't bring a gun.
Well, you gotta have. You gotta have your.
Even in the U.S., you don't do that.
You definitely need to have your deck handy. And you gotta have some friends to watch your back while you're slipping into the network.
You don't. That's done remotely. You just put down.
That's not done remotely.
I have to agree with Beelzebub on this. I was putting in networks, just running the cables, the wires for Save-A-Lots and some other grocery stores in Florida. And I'd walk in with my bundle of fucking cable and my drill and shit and be like, I'm just here to put in some cable. I need to know where your break room is and where your main office is. And the people at the store's like, yeah, come with me. Wouldn't ask for any ID, no credentials or nothing. They would let
work
me
order,
in the main office just by carrying a bundle of cable. I could have went in there and stole every password for the freaking company that they had.
Yeah, you just slap a little thing under a keypad, and it just starts picking up
just a little USB.
Yeah,
it's a little bit bigger than that, but it doesn't look.
But and it was like a zero credit. They asked for zero credentials.
Yep.
I'm just going from experiences prior to the 90s. Back in the old days, things weren't as high tech, and you had to
work for it.
Yeah,
If you get caught thieving, you will be sent to a penal legion, and you don't want that.
No,
I'm going to Schaefer's Last Chancers. Fuck it.
Yeah, I know, right, Beelzebub? Security.
Hey, DRC.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to boot you off of the show because got somebody else who wants to hop in, and you're working at the same time.
Oh, okay, fine.
Love you like a fat kid loves cake, brother.
Party on, man.
You don't love me anymore, I see.
Yeah, plus, man, your audio is pretty bad right now.
Yeah. Hop on in, Max.
Not this guy again.
Yep, straight to the penal legions.
Yeah, Mr. Max. Why I wasn't here on Monday.
And your job is basically to die.
Yeah, but
just like in real life.
you use the standard adventurers kit too in D&D.
I play games where after you make your character up, it basically just tells you to pick your starting kit.
Yeah.
I also like using slots as well.
So I don't worry about it. Like
tracking weight.
First off, in Warhammer, depending on what career you roll, you get your starting trappings, which is always like a hand weapon, some clothes, whatever you need to do, whatever your job is.
Exactly.
And generally barely any money. Like you might start the game with, maybe a couple brass pennies.
Enough to buy a beer.
Enough to maybe buy a cheap ale and some cheese and bread somewhere.
Yeah,
maybe a night at an inn.
And then if you're playing Kevin Crawford games, like any of the without number games, depending on your archetype you pick, typically there's a selection of gear you can choose. So like if you're playing Worlds Without Number, you could choose the soldier kit. And you're going to start with the las rifle, but you're not going to get, but if you take the medic kit, then you're going to get the med kit and a laser pistol. And, if you take the tech kit, you're going to get the tech stuff.
Like I was saying, if you're starting off as a cleric in my game, you're going to get your holy symbol. You're going to get a mace. The
what
church
was that?
is going
4th edition
to give you that.
The adventurers kit, didn't it?
No, you came up with that in second ed. You came up with the standard adventures kit. You had it all dotted out on the player's handbook where it's like these things you get for a gold. And it was like a backpack, a bedroll, torches.
No, it was 15 gold. Every character for 15 gold got a backpack with the brace.
Yep.
And then like a sack, a wine skin, a couple of torches,
everything you were going to need.
Rations. Basically what I did is I looked at the equipment thing in AD&D, and I figured out what would be the basic stuff I would take camping. And then I made an adventurous kit out of that.
Yeah.
Do any of you guys remember the old social table in the Unearthed Arcana?
No.
Okay, basically you roll a percentage to see like what kind of
social class,
standing,
social rank. Yes.
And for me, I actually enjoyed when somebody in the party would actually come from like a really high social,
upper class, upper middle. Yeah.
Right, and they would try to come to the game like with an extra horse, loaded up with gear and things like that, just so they could go through the experience of having to toss half that crap because they weren't going to need it, or it was weighing them down, or they had to leave a whole horse behind because they're being chased by outnumbering forces, and in order to get away, you got to lighten the load kind of thing to teach people really think about what you're going to carry, because I do use the encumbrance rules. How much you're carrying will determine how fast you can go, because a guy with
because that's how good DMs do.
Yeah,
right.
I was just writing that yesterday for Winter Dawn, actually.
You got to be able to just give up everything at a minute's notice and haul ass sometimes.
Right. Because even a character with a really high strength, just because you can carry and lift and all this stuff doesn't mean it's not going to encumber you, which doesn't mean like you're having to crawl with your gear, but like trying to race around a corner or get through a narrow doorway, or you're going through really narrow mine caverns and things like that. That stuff's going to just slow you down.
Warhammer has a high social.
It's the actual bulk.
Warhammer has social rank, where like the knight is a much higher social standing than say my character who's just a freaking fence, and it's like
Harn does that as well.
So between adventures, if you take a break at the beginning of the next adventure, if you didn't spend an endeavor to save your money, you start out with all your money's gone, but then you roll a number of die 10 equal to whatever your social rank is.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of
that
rolling
gives
a
you
die
a
or
starting
something
amount of money, which is basically what you got left.
Yeah, you're partying it up and shit. I always spend an endeavor to save our money.
Yeah, Hungar's always stashing the money, but what he don't know is there's a 10% chance every time he does that someone else finds the stash and takes it all.
Yeah, Barbarians of Lemuria, that was a fun one. It was all D6 based. Every time you got done adventuring and you were to level up, you had to, in order to actually level up in that game, you had to explain how you wasted away all of your gains, all of your loot and treasure, whether it was gambling, drinking, whoring, all of the above, bad investments. And that's the reason why you're back adventuring, because you.
I don't like exactly the same way.
Yeah, that's fun. That can be fun.
I prefer a little more itemized situation. I don't like arbitrary rules. Just says you spend all your money. It's like, no, I don't drink, or I don't.
Oh, do you gamble?
No, me personally, no. So most.
Well, I'm just saying, does your character gamble? Does he believe in a faith and gave it all to a false prophet? Does, you know what I mean? You got to explain.
I would kind of prefer to role play out.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
But I'm not going to spend a whole session in between adventures with people role playing how they're spending their money.
The players themselves have to explain how their character messed up on spending all that loot or wasting it. The player, you know what I mean? So that's
you can also have like if you have a family, maybe you have a sister, maybe you have like a nephew, some stuff like that you want to send money to. That's all.
In Warhammer, I have an adopted child that I put through school.
Right.
I
And a
might
wife.
I
And
might
a
be willing to
wife.
say give me a 1-page like journal entrance into what your character's been doing over the last. I don't
See,
know.
Warhammer Between
you're not even gonna
Adventures,
read it.
humans get 3.
It doesn't matter. It's something you can reference if you want
And that's
to.
just 3 things you can do during that month.
Yeah.
One of them is you can stash treasure, or you could put treasure in the bank. You can get a job. And depending on what your career is, you random roll to make X amount of money.
Yeah, Harn
You
does
know,
something like
you
that.
can do all this kind of things.
Okay,
And
now
then when the adventure starts, depending on how you spent your endeavors, it determines how you
Well,
start.
I'm not a
are
huge
kinda
fan of.
screwed because they only get 2 endeavors, and if the break is more than 3 weeks, they have to use one of those 2 endeavors
That's if you're using
to
that
go
system.
hang out with elves
yeah, that's
Yeah.
all system
because they
dependent.
hate humans so much.
Yeah.
That's all system dependent, of
but-
course.
I'm
That's
also
a good
not
idea
a.
right there. Beelzebub, he has a Discord thread for the in-between shopping trips, etc. Some folks love that role play, but I'll limit access to goods and services based upon location. Yeah, location has a lot to do with what you can buy, what you can get,
And how much it costs, right?
Well,
And-
what about the players that are adamant about saving up for the next better piece of equipment, especially armor?
Well,
you know,
They use an
well, then they
endeavor
can.
to either stash their money or put it in a bank.
Yeah, it depends on the rules. They
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
I mean, in Warhammer, one of their 3 endeavors between adventures, they can say, I put all my money in the bank.
yeah.
And it's in the bank.
I wouldn't limit the number of things you could do between sessions.
You wouldn't? Well, that would be
No.
insane because you'd have people doing all God only knows what.
Yeah,
They
I
get
think
3
it
things.
depends on the time.
Especially like my character, he's going to learn a new profession. So it's
Yeah.
going to take him time in between the next adventures. It's going to
Yeah,
take my
well,
character time to learn.
I would
a new job.
also expect the players to not be total retards. So
Well, you've got to, first
part of the
off,
social
you're going to
contract.
have to find someone to train you.
Yeah, that's why I want to go to
oh,
Altman.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why you're wanting to go to Altdorf, even though you're telling the rest of the group it was to visit your wife.
Okay,
I was
I
that-
want to
brings up
visit
a
my
really good
wife
question.
too.
How long between adventures? Because I've had games where it's been several years between an actual.
Nah, it's
you know,
not going
yeah.
to be years between
Yeah,
adventures.
well, I mean,
No,
several.
it's,
If it's between several years, if you're using something like Harn, that's awesome because the only way you get better at skills is downtime, and you get so many points per so many days, and you spend them on skills.
right.
So that's why you want
And
downtime.
Warhammer, it's like a month.
in the system Mr.
It
Max is
all-
working on, you get better at skills by doing things.
Yes, yes. Well, that's based on
Well,
which
that's
I really
called
like.
Cthulhu.
What's up, little brother?
Well, it's Cthulhu. It's also Burning Wheel, which is awesome because you
Yeah,
need
Burning Wheel, the
you
more
need an
often
amount
you
of
do a
failures
thing.
and successes to actually get better at a skill.
Yeah,
which
I
makes
find
sense.
very well like go a little too far with it. Like it's
Yeah.
because they become like very very like crunchy in a way. Like you have like a lot of bookkeeping to do.
Yes, you do,
But,
but it's the idea.
like-
The concept's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I were
Yeah.
going to play Burning Wheel, I would play the really simple version, like the combat where you and your opponent just roll your dice and figure it
Yeah.
out.
You see, I find
would
like
not
that is.
try ever to run the game with the whole
I think
where,
like
where
that's
you fill out the little sheets to try to figure out who fainted and who
That's a-
ducked and who swung.
a big critique I have with Burning Wheel is that like that just like doing the opposed roll, that's too simple. But the other way is like way too fucking complex. Like they're missing something in between, like something that give you a little bit of crunch, but like not fucking like okay, it's gonna take like fucking 15 minutes to do one round.
Yeah, Burning Wheel is awesome food for thought.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It really is.
it actually changed the way I role play like D&D.
Me too.
Reading Burning Wheel changed how I looked at D&D.
I advise everyone if they haven't got Burning Wheel, get it, read it.
But
Yeah,
it is one of those games that's kind of hard to play because
Yeah.
It's
more
I have a before
more
you
a lot
before
of-
I would say before you get the Burning Wheel, I would
The-
invite you to watch. I have 2 videos on Burning Wheel on my
yeah,
channel. One is a
Yeah,
how-to, and one is like a critique.
Does anyone know where I can get a PDF R80?
Yeah. So I was just gonna say, I'm not paying for a game until I've played it first, and even then, I better like it or at least really like the group of people. I've got hundreds of games that I am never going to play, and I would rather play one of those games than bite into the next new shiny without having, given the stuff
I have
chance.
I have no
Can't even go
desire
Burning Wheel, the
to.
next new
The
shiny.
whole,
It's
yeah,
been
the
around
whole,
for
the whole,
30 years.
yeah, the whole point of that is to learn something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
I've
you're not
no
gonna be
Just
Burning
have
Wheel.
ideas you've never
Play
read or
the
seen
game.
before.
Maybe
Well,
not
That's
30,
the whole
but
theory.
20 at
Not-
least.
Not
Burning
buy and
Wheel?
play it, but
Yeah.
Burning
Right.
Wheel's been around for at least 20 years.
No, not that much.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Maybe,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
you're right. You'd be like
Yeah.
early 2000. Yeah, that's 20 years ago.
yeah.
I know, right?
Fuck's sake.
It's amazing how the entire 2000s have just gone by in the blink of an eye for us of a certain age and older. It's like that was just a little while ago. I even make that mistake with stuff from the 90s, thinking it was the 80s
Wikipedia says
because the
2002.
90s were crap.
2006?
2002.
2002, yeah, so 22
That's
years.
20
Man,
years.
fucking time
Like
flies.
recently, Bear just sent me like a whole a crap ton of OSE PDFs. Okay, the only reason I would even think about reading them is because I'm going to be in the game with you guys where we're going to play that, and
Yeah, I should get those too.
I already know it wouldn't be a game I would ever run because it's lacking all the things that I actually insist upon. But if the group is good and the adventure sounds interesting and it's not just the same old struggle from zero to first level and it's going to take you like 6 weeks to get there, cool. But
I'm kind of interested, and don't take this any sort of way,
Beer and pretzels game.
but I am
Yeah.
sort of interested to know what doesn't exist in OSC that you need to exist in order to enjoy it.
I hate racist class on every single level.
Play OSC Advanced, obviously.
Yeah, OSCA,
Where
you don't do that.
basic.
No one plays OSC Advanced.
No one plays basic.
Oh,
Everyone
well,
plays
that was my understanding from Hungar is that's what we would be doing is basic. Okay.
Well, no, when Hungar talked to me, he said advanced.
Okay, I'll look
He
into
said
that.
basic to me as well.
Yeah.
The rules are
we're gonna
identical.
we're going to do
except
advanced.
you just make better characters.
We're going to do advanced.
I play.
It's going to be
Bear
advanced.
plays basic. See, if I were going to play OSC basic, I would just throw OSC basic away and play Adventure Conqueror King. If I want to play a game that has class, race, class, whatever.
Axe is not like
Conqueror King. Every race has like 6 or 7 specific.
yeah.
Classes.
That's what I'm about to say. Axe is not race as class.
James.
It's a racial class. So like
Yeah, exactly.
You could
You got-
never be a ranger.
Yeah, you got like a few class per race, and often
I
time
like
like
that
they
too.
become equivalent, but it's not like purely like race as class. It's kind of like a hybrid.
Right. I mean, that's what I would do.
I like class specific.
But OSC Advanced is rules wise no more difficult to run the basic, but it allows your players to actually play, an acrobat or a freaking assassin or whatever.
I was under the opinion that we were going to be limiting that at the start of the overall campaign, and as we progress, you could add.
Yeah, he said
them.
like at 5th level, if you got a character to 5th level, you could change some stuff up and pull stuff from advanced.
See, that screws me right up because I want to play a knight.
Yeah,
I'm thinking when we do it, it's going to be advanced, but it's not going to be all the rules in advanced. It's just the player classes are going to be more open.
The only
Donald, bro,
rules,
how you
the
doing?
only thing that separates advanced from basic is that race and class are separated. That's
Hey,
it.
Donald.
Every other rule is exactly the same in basic as it is in advanced. There are some
I like
optional
the
rules,
ACK
like you
though.
can let martial classes get weapon proficiencies.
I like ACK because I like class or race specific classes.
yeah, like the dwarf mechanic.
Sure.
Or the elf ranger.
Where are all these Adventure Conquer King other race classes? I've only seen 2 for each race in the basic book and in the compendium or whatever, the companion. There's a couple more, but those were all garbage as far as I was concerned.
No way. The dwarves have the dwarven artificer, the dwarven warrior. They have a dwarven priest. They have a dwarven ranger thief type thing.
Yeah, I've never played a dwarf in my life.
The only one that I can, well, I was just use
Yeah, we
dwarf
can
as
tell.
an example.
Yeah.
The
You don't
only
think
race
about
that
Rome. Of
only
course you
has
want
one
the dwarf.
class in the game is
Yeah,
the gnome.
they're boring.
The gnome is just a trickster.
It's like the most manly non-human.
Yeah, I've played more humans
Which
than
gnome trickster just means thief
Yeah,
illusion.
gnome. Yeah, I just rewatched Mr. Max's video
With
about creating
a
supplement
gnome trickster
But
is a
what?
thief illusion.
Actually, I did play one
from
dwarf.
early June.
Back
The
in
one
the early
about
days, I did play
the
dwarf.
gnomes entering the human
Our
society.
ACK game was
I don't
great. The
remember.
gnome made like a, or no, the dwarf
and
made like
tricking
this
us to have
gigantic.
orcs.
Oh yeah. I don't know what's talking about.
The dwarf made like this gigantic dog
Oh, it's a
out
funny
of
video.
like a robot dog, and it was big. And then he put like loops built into
yeah,
the
but
thing,
we
so
definitely
that when they went into the dungeon, even though they couldn't stealth because they had like a 450-pound robot dog follow them around, anything they found that they wanted, they could just tie to the side of the dog, because the dog's encumbrance ability was like 3 times its weight. So the
Nice.
dog can carry 1,200 pounds.
Hey,
yes, but
Connell,
we definitely
It
don't
could
want
fight.
that happening
If
at
you
the
needed it
beginning
to fight,
of the game.
it could fight.
Yeah.
It wasn't great at it, but it could
Yeah.
fight. And the dwarf had to spend an hour every morning winding all the various clockwork bullshit and oiling all the different bits and pieces, but basically, he had this big, it's an artificer, but only dwarves can do it.
Yes.
There was a class that
Connell.
elves got called the hierarch, which was like a hybrid mage cleric. So you operated on the mage level, like you leveled like a mage, but you could cast cleric and mage spells.
Okay.
Hey, real quick, Connell.
you're giving too many options.
Connell, if you want to play a slaver character, you got to get Arduin. That was the first game to ever even approach the idea, and trust me, that was a very interesting experience, and would sure to make a lot of heads explode.
Yeah, definitely.
Conan 2.20, if you play one of the Asgardians, slaver is a option for a
Just
back.
the Asgardians? That should be like Sumerian, definitely.
Well, it's Asgard, Nordheim.
Stygian should be a slaver.
Yeah, you could be a slaver as your background in Conan 2.20.
I guess the Defari technically do some slaving too.
Well,
for the
pretty much
cookbot.
it's Conan, so everybody enslaves everybody.
The Defari pretty much does some cannibalism.
It's
like
not
a
even a
human
race
story.
thing. It's like the stronger people in a region enslave the weaker people in a region.
Yeah.
But they could be the same people.
Yeah.
So if you go into Samaria and you see a Sumerian that owns a slave, more often than not, the slave is also a Sumerian.
Yeah.
That's why like another
Got
religion
wiped out in a
made
clan war or something.
made law about owning slave of the religion, because then you didn't have to make a restriction to that if people didn't do it.
Oh, did you hear Wizard of the Coast is getting rid of the term witch, shaman, and druid?
Imagine that.
In Magic the Gathering, not yet in D&D.
Not yet.
Imagine that.
No, in D&D.
No, it's in Magic the Gathering.
I just watched OGGM this morning, dude. They were saying D&D.
Yeah, don't trust what OGGM says.
And they're saying they're going to take it out of Baldur's Gate 3 too.
James, never trust what OGGM says.
I like the OGGM.
Yeah, I'm in a regular game with him. What's wrong with him?
I'm kidding. Just like
Okay.
I'm kidding. I'm poking fun just because like from what I heard, it's from Magic the Gathering, because like Druid is a fucking class in D&D.
No, they're talking about Magic the Gathering too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're also talking about completely eliminating all printed copies of every single product.
Well,
Actually,
it's not really they're eliminating. From what I heard, I understand. The major publishing houses, the contract's about up. It's not producing money for them to like go, hey, we're going to ship this printed material. So Wizards is making it appear as though they're saying, well, that's the direction we're going, when really
They can't get their
kind of losing
contracts
their
renewed.
asses. Yeah, they're losing their asses on sales, so they can't afford to have these contracts renewed.
That's
Yeah.
I like what
They're
Connell
going to
said.
keep the priest class though.
That's why the OGL was timed, like the revenue kick-ins were timed for when they were, because
Yes.
that's when those contracts were expiring.
Yep.
Well, the cigar DM says they can go fuck themselves, and I agree with him.
Well
Yeah.
said.
But this whole fucking like oh, we cannot use that, like fucking shaman. You're like, who's fucking insulted by using the shaman? Like, no, oh, that's my culture. You can like fucking man, like it's fucking stupid. Like the same thing.
It's just
Okay,
a
look,
poor
look.
attempt at
Well,
virtue signaling.
who's upset
whoa,
about
whoa,
uses
whoa, whoa.
of the word
Your
witch?
culture is offended by the word shaman. How much of your culture buys and plays this shit?
Oh, not only that, like
Who
why would
cares?
you be offended? You know, it's like,
Who
are we
cares?
gonna be offended because you said it's a night? You know, oh, that's my culture. You know, like you know.
I am. How about this? We all need to start saying I'm offended that they use knights in D&D.
Yeah.
How about
We need
all
to start
say
being
this?
offended that they're using our culture, so every part of the game has to be stripped out, so
Yeah.
their books are fucking empty.
I say
That's
this.
what that's where they're going anyway.
How
in my
about you
opinion.
start saying, I don't give a
Exploration is
fuck
a
if you're
bitch.
offended? That's what I'm going to start doing. I'm going to start saying, I don't give a fuck if I offend you.
But
I
you know,
would
it's
be
like- it's
completely
gonna be like the-
stoked
No,
if they
be offended.
added like Druzina and you know, Boyers and stuff like that as classes. I think that would be awesome. I mean, of course, the Druzina is basically a knight, but the Boyer's a horse archer.
Yeah.
You know what's going to
That
happen?
would be cool, man. You know,
You see what Bear
It's
said
going to
there?
force themselves into the corner of skill-based versus class-based.
What Bear says that, you know, like I think that's why we can almost guarantee that the barbarian is always gonna pick it as like a white man, because like they will never dare like make, you know, they're gonna make the fighter black in their book, but they won't make the barbarian black or non-white in any way.
Yeah. Connell, if true, you got to be very careful with that lineage. There's a particular type of flesh-eating virus that will literally rip your face off, and it only affects gypsies.
What?
and you know why? Because they freaking deserve it.
Because they got the Sheeny curse put on them.
Yeah, literally, there is a type of flesh-eating virus that will
Oh.
cause your face to puff up and then literally rip off your skull.
It'll
Yeah.
melt off. Yeah, it'll fucking.
Or
like
those engineer
leprosy, kinda.
virus?
No.
Yeah, you think I'm mean about it? You should hear what my old Serbian brother-in-law used to feel about the Romany. Man, oh man! Apparently,
I'm currently reviewing Ravenloft, and every chance I get, I'm not using that Vistani word. Sorry, they're fucking gypsies.
I don't know. I understand creating a unique flavor for your world,
Sure.
even if they're the same thing.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like what Bear says. You can use barbarians for Northern Europeans because nobody cares about Northern Europeans.
I do.
Yeah.
So do I. That was
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
was
well,
sarcasm.
No
like
progress,
I'm saying, Bear, we need to get super offended, so they have to remove the barbarian class from the
I
game.
want blank pages in their books.
Yeah, but you know,
Yeah.
like it's gonna be like they're gonna have like the fucking Land of Lake kind of situation where like people,
You
oh
know what
no,
would
you cannot
be a
use the
cool
fucking
character?
Indian squaw like for your mascot, and then like, well, okay, then you're not gonna have like a Indian
So once
representation anymore.
again, the white man
Or-
took something away from the Indians.
What they're going to start doing is you're going to get
Yeah.
D&D books, but there's going to be like military, like from what was it? Good Morning Vietnam, where he'd get the news to read, and there'd be just parts black
Just
and
be all redacted.
So
Or-
you're going to just get D&D books with shit just redacted out of the book, just blacked out.
That would be funny. Or that they're forced to change them to such nonsensical things that there's no cultural touchstone
Yeah.
for anything anywhere. So it might as well be a book written by a 4-year-old.
If one of
And
you
it-
guys is
Yeah.
writing a game based on D&D, I'm going to butcher this name, but it's from Manowar, and I think it's pronounced like Ulfenguire.
Ulfenware.
you need to make that a class because it's a type of Norse warrior that can occasionally turn into a gigantic wolf.
So it's like the bear people, and it's like the bear people in Lord of the Rings.
You're saying
skin changers.
It's
Yeah,
northern,
but they're
northern
shape
werewolf.
changers, but they change into a wolf.
Yeah.
But not always.
No.
It's random.
On occasion.
Sometimes they don't quite get it.
Yeah, it's a race
So you
thing.
could put it on like a skill tree where it's like at level 1, the chance isn't that great, but by the time you hit level 10 or whatever the max level is, this guy's going to wolf out whenever he wants. And that would be badass.
Yeah, you know what?
Or bear out, make Vindo.
James, you just reminded me, man. I started a project and I need to actually get my ass
I'm just
on
trying to be more positive, Shadow.
I'm not gonna the project we're working on is creating new worlds as opposed to new worlds and settings, because everywhere I turn I get these almost identical world settings for new
Cookie cutter
systems. Yeah, and I'm like, you know what, I want to see worlds like that I've never seen before. Being a big sci-fi fan, that's one of the big allures for me playing sci-fi games, is going to a world that's completely different, in some
If
sort
you're
of
looking
way.
for a
you can go bonkers with
different
sci-fi.
world, but you want
Maybe
to
that
play fantasy,
I hate that
just go download Talislanta. It's free.
Well, you don't have to buy it.
because
Every version of
I
Talislanta is free.
hate-
There is no world ever created like that.
I hate when people try to run a game and they make the fucking world the star of the show. The game is supposed to be about the character. If you just like, oh, but look, this world is unique. I don't fucking care. I care about character. We care about what the struggle that people go through. We care about the emotion, what they live. The fucking world is backdrop. Don't try to make it the star of the show.
Well, some
There
people
should
have
be
fun.
some difference
people
to it,
have fun
but
creating
not
worlds,
so
but
much.
If
Yeah, I
they
can
cram
see
it,
that.
if they cram it down people's throats, well,
But also, if,
Max
when you
gets all
start,
excited, but because he has a French accent, it's just funny.
when you also try to make the world all
It's not
unique and
pronounced
stuff like
French.
that.
It's pronounced demon.
Right. If there's come on, you've got to see that there should be something about the world that's not just fucking Earth.
But when you try to make your world too unique and stuff like that, at some point, now you're gonna start having the player asking question oh, in this world, does this exist? Is there how does that work in that world?
I love
You know
saltines. I
Look
dream
at
of
this
saltines.
Saltines.
Look at that cracker.
what I mean? So people cannot make assumptions
That's
about the world
cannibalism,
anymore.
bro.
Look at that cracker eating that cracker.
I know. I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, what's funny? I know people who live on Cracker Street.
Listen.
Yeah.
Oh, I
There's
just got a shirt
Oh,
idea.
Oh,
There's
picture of a
whoa,
cracker.
whoa. Everybody,
This is
whoa,
cannibalism.
whoa. I am not a cracker. I am saltine American. Get it right.
Nice.
I actually the street that I live on is Cracker Street.
Good to know.
We're not trying to dox you, bro.
I just
We're
thought
not trying to
I
play.
do-
We're not trying to
I-
be Sniper Wolf on YouTube, doxing everybody.
I do agree with Max to a point.
well, some of the people on here I might have sent stuff to, so they know my address.
when you get too weird and gone,
Well, I know your address
it's kind of
for
like
other
what
reasons.
what the heck is going on here?
All right, well, guys, it's that time where we have to say goodbye
Why? We just got started.
Really?
motherfucker.
because I'm hungry.
Well, hold on.
So go eat,
go
come
eat
back.
Go away
get
for a while,
Oh,
and then
I
come
was
back.
planning on going on live anyways, and I saw Hungar. I got a little miniature opening,
Nice.
whatever.
What are
I'll
you opening?
hop on. Well, you'll see when I do it. As soon as I leave here.
Well, Squirrel's planning on going live, so you guys can hop over to Squirrel Show.
Bring it.
Okay.
Ooh, nice. Hey,
Yeah, hop on
Max.
over to Squirrel.
Hey, Mr. Max.
Yeah.
There could be a happy medium. I don't want the same freaking standard Squirrel said cookie
Castland is
cutter
the
world.
best
Cookie
world
cutter
ever
world. How is
made.
your world different or better? Why can't we just play Earth if it's no different?
Well,
Gotta be a happy
we
medium.
can just fucking play Earth. We should
could
just fucking
play
play Earth.
Fuck that. I can't wait to get off this planet. I fucking hate this planet.
All right, you
Yeah,
guys
I
hop on
believe
over.
it's the
You
happiest
guys,
day
I'm
of my
expecting to
life.
see you I'm expecting to see you fuckers
Well-
over on Squirrel Hermit show.
All right,
Yeah.
let's go there.
Before we go,
Buy
Shadow,
t-shirt.
bro. Yeah, buy my shirts. I expect that to be the topic next month after we're done Halloween on the Saturday show.
New Worlds.
New worlds.
Okay.
Ideas for worlds.
Okay. I actually touched on that a couple months